gonna be frank with you. I don't know how to start this video at all, but let's go anyway. How's it going, people? Jack here with another video, here to check out the latest video by the PointlessHub channel, where Cody has decided to employ the good old Pokemon tactic and or ability called Rage Bait. Now, I do acknowledge that this is a method that has been made use of throughout the entirety of human history. Even in the bloody Bible, there are a lot of people who do like to employ Rage Bait tactics. But never, ever have I felt so rage baited as to wanting to rant about Dragon Ball Evolution. It should be a crime to have ever had this movie featured in theaters. Like, what were they thinking? This is a movie for which I need to remind people who are going to be watching this video. Ben Ramsey, its writer, apologized for having made this mess. He said he was sorry for having ever put this in front of our eyes. And if there's anything good that has ever come out of this entire thing, perhaps that apology will be that. Now, I know that I'm sounding very harsh here, but I guess that there's a part of me that kind of feels like a modern day Star Wars fan. Because, let me show you something. I have in this folder here some of the drawings that I used to do when I was younger. I used to make like old cartoon issues and drawings, stuff like that. I thought at some point that I was going to be a mangaka. But my parents did not support my artistic ways and wanted me to continue in their footsteps. Science is the way to go. Get a wonderful office job. Mom and Dad, I did make it. But young as I was very invested in the big three, right? You have the likes of Bleach right there, Aizen, obviously. Some of the motifs here will make you think of characters like Yo Asakura from Shaman King. And the further we go, we can find inevitably some... Where do we have it? Here! Raditz, Dragon Ball. And I drew this a lot, okay? We have the androids here, and even, of course, as I said, the big three, we have Enel here from One Piece. My point is, you don't need to necessarily adapt everything to a T, okay? Creative freedom is allowed, and I think that a lot of good works have come out of people taking some liberties with animes and even live-action adaptations. However, when you put out something that is not even worth of being called an adaptation at all, and it's just a mess, like, I don't know what to say. It feels like the thing that I'm watching is AI generated before even AI. But now, before I get way too frustrated here, Cody is going to give us his take on the movie that he has apparently watched. Poor guy. But being introduced to Rage Bait from 2009 in this very year. Yikes. But folks, please do make sure to, of course, go and give him a like, and without further ado, let's get into this one.
I didn't grow up with Dragon Ball.
You need to leave.
I know. I'll box my things up and leave the building. So many young boys grew up watching Goku power up week after week, and I was not one of them. I was watching, like, Chalk Zone or Dave the Barbarian. For kid me, Dragon Ball was one of those things that just existed in the background. I knew Goku was a thing, but what he even did, I couldn't tell ya.
Oh great, showing footage of the Kinect and Budokai Tenkaichi.
Hell, even when I got into anime in the early 2010s, I still didn't watch Dragon Ball. It was that time when the golden age had come and gone.
Oh my god, can you imagine being introduced to anime and the first thing that they put into your face is Sword Art Online? Not even the abridged version, just plain old Sword Art Online. Now I know how the kids who made that awful anime tier list the other day felt.
None of my friends were into it. The only anime one friend ever recommended to me was Girls und Panzer.
Huh. Well, that's how they get radicalized. No, like seriously, you show Girls and Panzer to a kid and think to yourself, oh, those just innocent schoolgirls who are going to be driving German tanks the next day. Vater, we need to talk about the Panzer Kunstwagen 4, more specifically the Anführung Königstiger version. Wait, you want to talk about the German Tiger tanks? Where did you... Wait, what? When the f did you learn to speak German? Now, I swear, this is literally how it happens. I had a friend called Jacob, whose sister introduced him to Madoka Magica, where he introduced her to this bloody thing. It sounds weird to say out loud, but they got really into guns and speaking German, which isn't too difficult because that's kind of something that we learn in school, but still. Indoctrination.
Also Zoids. The first time I watched anything Dragon Ball, I was 22. Another friend showed me Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods, which in hindsight is like such a bad way to introduce someone to Dragon Ball. What was he thinking? I didn't know what the hell was going on, but I guess I liked it because that got me into Dragon Ball. My brother and I spent our early 20s becoming new Dragon Ball fans. I went through the original series and DBZ twice, GT once. I watched Super as that was airing live, and even saw some of the movies, like everyone's favorite, Bio Broly. My point here is that I remember a time when I had no idea what Dragon Ball even was. I didn't know about Bulma, or Jackie Chun, or Poir. I didn't know what the Dragon Balls even did. I knew squat. But I guarantee, if you told me back then to make a Dragon Ball movie, I wouldn't have made Goku a suburban white kid who goes to high school.
Jesus Christ.
I knew squat. But I guarantee, if you told me back then to make a Dragon Ball movie, I wouldn't have made Goku a suburban white kid who goes to high school. Dragon Ball Evolution. Oh god. You don't even need to have watched Dragon Ball before in your life to tell this is an abomination.
Goku in high school.
And if you still can't tell, I'm gonna say why. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know this movie came out in 2009. I didn't hear about it until years later, and that was in a Rebel Taxi video.
Good.
I always assumed this was for, like, TV, like that Ben 10 movie.
Oh, shit.
Then I found out this was actually in theaters. Holy shit. I can't imagine what the reaction would have even been back then. I can't even imagine anyone being disappointed by the end product.
No. Nobody had any expectation going in to watch this. The bar was on the floor. Most people went in there to hate. And the bar was in hell, doing gymnastics.
I am Gauze.
Und I am Mez.
Und we are here to pump you up.
Or sorry, it's called Heffel, according to how Gauze and Mez were edited with those shirts.
Because just seeing this poster is disappointing already.
Oh yeah!
Live-action adaptations of cartoons are such a
Murder.
spin of a genre. Other than, like, Speed Racer, the greatest film of all time,
It's
these
good.
movies are nothing more than a Russian roulette of quality. But the revolver has every bullet, and you're gonna be grateful for that, because you're watching Underdog.
I think that I can count on my hand live-action adaptations that like straddle the line of anime and graphic novels that have actually been good. And I'm exclusively sticking to those because I think that those usually are the most hard to adapt, because it still baffles me today how it is difficult to do like the typical Western fantasy adaptation in comparison to what a lot of mangas and or sometimes even comic books tend to do. But personally for me, if we leave away the comic book movies, we'll have the likes of Speed Racer, as was mentioned before, Alita Battle Angel. We have Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Amazing, despite the fact that it is not a manga and or anime, it's a graphic novel. We have, I think in place for two that can be pretty good contestant. One would be Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise, which is inspired by All I Need Is Kill, and or Ghost in a Shell. I know, the ScarJo situation and all that. I still think that that was a good movie. Could have been way better. I still think it was a good movie. And lastly, one that I think that a lot of people might not even know exists, Crying Freeman. Pretty good one. Check that one out. But that is my lineup for live action adaptations.
It's actually an impressive feat to be among these low points of cinema and somehow be worse than all of them. This just isn't a Dragon Ball movie. It shares nothing in common with the actual series other than having humans with the same names. Also,
Yeah.
there are Dragon Balls. Dragon Ball isn't just a series with people fighting each other. It's a world. Those earliest chapters with Kid Goku, and really the original Dragon Ball series in general, is probably my favorite fictional world. I don't love Dragon Ball just because of the fighting. I love Dragon Ball because there can be a cat at the top of a giant tower who sounds like he chain smokes a pack a day. How do you translate that to live action?
Yeah, that's true. I think... okay, if I have to say one positive thing about this movie, it is that they do in fact make use of the same method or formula that Toriyama was using to get his story going, which was to make use of the Dragon Radar, which they're not calling it here in the movie, the Dragon Radar, to find the Dragon Ball and to move the plot along, so to explore new things, get to new horizon, explore new culture, new characters, to actually go on an adventure. So I guess that you could say that the movie straddles that, but the way in which they even try to do that is shit.
Even if someone was dressed exactly as Goku, it would always look like a cosplay. It was always a losing battle. But man, did they fuck it up in the funniest way. It's that time of year again, the time we all know and love, crippling winter weather. Hi, I'm Chef Bobby Boobadelli, and I'm trapped inside by 10 feet of snow. Why did I build a restaurant in rural Manitoba? I'll never know.
Knows.
My ex-wife was right. Anyway, I'm out of ingredients, and I can't cook at all. Luckily, I'm not out of the select meals from the sponsor of today's video, Factor. Factor delivers delicious cooked meals right to your door. All you gotta do is microwave them for 2 minutes, and you're ready to go. You don't even need to be a professional chef like yours truly. You just need your own fingers and a box that shoots waves that are micro. Look what I got here. I got mushroom and onion cream pork chop. They also got all these other options, like barbecue sauced pulled pork. You can get calorie-smart meals, gluten-free options, and now even Asian and Mediterranean meals. Oh look, the snow's collapsed a portion of my roof. That's not good. So why not try Factor out? It's an easy way to have home-cooked meals for those that don't have the time to cook. Click the link in the description and use my code PointlessHubFB50 to get 50% off plus free breakfast for 1 year. Now, if you don't mind me, I have to quickly seal up this hole before the wolves come and drag me away into the cold winter night.
I'm Italian.
Love the holidays.
I beg your pardon. Why is there a section called a mess? The whole thing is a mess.
So, you know those long-sleeve grunge shirts from 2005? The ones that have tribal symbols and skulls? That's Goku in Dragon Ball Evolution. Why the hell is this guy's name Goku? He looks like he'd be named Zach. Or Cody. Maybe he has a sweet life. Goku.
Well, his real name is Justin, so they could have just gone with that. And also... that vein on his forehead. Dude might have just been featured in an Akira movie at this point.
Leave me alone!
Man, call him Tetsuo.
He looks like he'd be named Zach. Or Cody. Maybe he has a sweet life. Goku goes to high school and deals with bullies.
Make me pay, Giko.
Little do they know that he's much more unique than the other guys. His grandpa beats him on a daily basis.
And I guess that his bullies try to murder him. Literally, at the start of the movie, the whole shebang of, oh, Granddad, I need to get a girlfriend. Teach me how to get a girlfriend because that's important to me. The kids are bullying me in school. The kids are trying to do him like those guys in Tokyo Drift. They try to murder a kid.
That's why Goku is constantly sulking on a daily basis. Maybe that's why Goku is constantly sulking. Oh wait, it's because he doesn't have a girlfriend.
Teach me how to get the girl.
Yes, sulking over not having a date. A very Goku trait we all know and love. He just doesn't act like Goku.
At all.
But you know what? I could forgive the complaining. I could forgive the lack of muscle. But one thing I cannot forgive is Goku actually paying attention to Chi-Chi. That's an unforgivable sin.
Hey, no, that's not all. I know, Goku is by far one of the most asexual characters in anime ever. There's literally that one scene during the tournament where Goku has died, comes back just to visit, and Chi-Chi shows up there with Goten, and I remember Kid Me thinking, okay, hold on. We had to shift from Gohan, whom I didn't even know what happened there, but okay, there was a kid involved. But Goten? When? How? Does Goku... Huh? It took an abridged series to get to the point of even making me think that Chi-Chi was actually hot.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Well, correction, okay? I always thought that Chi-Chi, I have a thing for very strong female characters, was very attractive, even personality-wise. I know, perhaps that's the freak in me. Like, you know, sexually speaking.
Would you take Gohan out for a few hours?
Gohan, we're going to Kame House.
Wait, what does she mean? Guys?
He said 1 week, and I'm using it.
Thank you, Dragon Ball Abridged. But to me, the biggest sin was to have Goku not know an ounce of martial art. He sucks. How come you have a dude who basically just got like some MMA classes before starting to film play Goku? I don't get it. It's infuriating.
Unforgivable sin. I cannot think of a less Goku moment than him sitting in a classroom looking over at his crush and having fantasies about her straight out of the fucking Goofy movie. Okay, look. Just because something isn't exactly like the source material, it doesn't mean it's always bad. If a movie or show does something actually interesting that validates the change, I'm alright with that.
Right.
Dragon Ball Evolution does not do that. Dragon Ball Evolution does nothing.
It really does nothing.
Usually I try to find something, anything, positive in even the worst movies.
Oh, Zilla.
And I tried, and I failed. There is just nothing redeeming about Dragon Ball Evolutions. This is not just a bad adaptation. This just isn't an adaptation at all. Alright, so after impressing Chi-Chi with his hot air, Goku gets invited to her mansion that looks like an actual place that people live in, and not a set at all.
What are you doing here, Geeko?
We went to get you a tighter shirt. There
are no tighter shirt.
Checked.
I'm imagining that the Ox King in this world is just like the owner of a few local car dealerships. One thing that's just baffling is that while there is fighting here, it's not like Dragon Ball fighting. There's martial arts, there's ki, but the way it's implemented is
So
just
bad.
off. Why are they breakdancing? Dragon Ball Evolution adapts things from literally everything that isn't Dragon Ball.
Even the, oh my god, even the martial art is so bad. It's so bad. They do the excessive jump cuts that will make even Liam Neeson sick. There is one choreographed fight in this, and it happens in the background of a shot where all you can see, or at least where your eyes are being directed to, is Chi-Chi's chest. That's basically it. The rest are like crazy jump cut that makes zero sense.
Grandpa Gohan is just Mr. Miyagi and Uncle Ben blended together. The whole opening is simply Karate Kid, where our down-on-his-luck everyman deals with bullies, can only use his fighting and self-defense, and even has a secret connection with the girlfriend of his biggest bully. Ooh.
I'm not saying that Chi-Chi's a stupid name. I'm just saying that it's not normal.
This is the Karate Kid for 20 minutes, and then Mr. Miyagi explodes.
They had to do that thing because, hey, they absolutely had to go in that direction because, I don't know, that was the thing that was appealing to young white dude at the time. But why? You have seen that trope done so many times. And the literal only time where that has truly worked was in like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, because I guess they were trying to relate to that, to create an Uncle Ben figure. And or actually, I don't know, it's Fox executive who made this, okay? They were thinking to themselves, hey, you know, we've seen that one show that lasted almost a decade now, Smallville. It went from 2001 to 2011, right? Yeah, a whole 10 year span where we basically turned Superman into a teenager who got bullied and inevitably became the hero that we know today. So obviously we can compress all of that into a 1.5 hour long movie. Sorry for the mic bump there. Like, this is the reason why I said that this movie is absolute rage bait. Because it sounds like a person who was trying to be smart, who is not smart at all, made something extremely stupid. Because if that is not the case, this is just a person who tried to rage bait a lot of Dragon Ball fans into getting to the movies. That's literally what it has to be.
All the advice Grandpa Gohan gives is just the most generic coming-of-age hero slop you've heard time and time before.
Normal is also overrated.
Believe in yourself. There are no rules. The power was inside you all along. The emotional core of this movie is Goku losing his ChatGPT spawned advice. The way Gohan dies is just so funny. So Goku gets invited to Chi-Chi's party, right? Fights the bullies, real cool stuff. But then after looking at the moon, he suddenly remembers, oh fuck, it's my birthday, and my grandpa's birthday too.
Something's wrong with my grandpa.
What?
They share a birthday and this guy just forgot. But his grandpa didn't. Look how sad he is. He had a cake ready and everything, and Goku just ditched him for some Chi-Chi. His grandpa died disappointed that he didn't show up for his birthday cake. Honestly, that's kind of better than how the real Gohan went out. The fact Goku did this to his grandpa is just never brought up by anyone.
The
movie just forgets. Goku certainly did. We just move along. Gohan is dead, and Piccolo killed him.
Not Bulma.
Oh yeah, King Piccolo is the big bad here. Not that Piccolo. King
Piccolo.
One kid Goku killed by speedrunning through his chest.
And which is extremely sad, he was played by James Masters, one whom, given that I watched a Death Battle not too long ago, I remember, played in Buffy the Vampire and Angel. He is actually a Dragon Ball fan and wanted to portray the character properly.
2,000 years ago, King Piccolo and the Namekians invaded Earth and almost destroyed everything before he was defeated. Well, now he's back, and he looks better than ever.
2,000 years.
2,000 years ago is like Roman times. A long time ago, sure, but we have first-person accounts that still survive to this day.
Thank you. Can you imagine Pliny? Pliny, who wrote the first encyclopedia, is sitting there during the eruption of Vesuvius, just staring at the volcano going like, I've seen worse. The Namekians were around here and tried to destroy the Earth not too long ago. Those silly little green man. In comparison, this is just a Friday. Like, it makes no sense. Nothing at all. I've seen ancient alien shows have a better timeline than this, where they can at least somewhat justify the distance and the ambiguity of their claims.
The Romans' legacy permeates throughout the Western world. Hell, even the myths older than the Romans still survived through writing or oral history. So it's just really funny that in Dragon Ball Evolution, the Namekians almost destroyed the entire planet, like global battles to fend off this alien invasion, and nobody knows what the f*** Goku is talking about.
Namex.
Yeah, they're an alien race that nearly destroyed Earth over...
This wasn't some secret conflict. The exposition was pretty clear on that. Yet everyone just thinks Goku's crazy when he brings up the Namekians.
And it is during a science class where the teacher or professor is trying to teach them about solar eclipse. Shouldn't a person with a science degree know just a slit of history? No?
This just breaks the world so badly. An event like this would have transformed cultures and history. It at least would have influenced mythology or legend. Maybe Piccolo would have been seen as like a goblin. I don't know. But no, everyone is just genuinely confused, like they have never heard the word Namekian before in their life. And that's the most fascinating thing about the world of Dragon Ball Evolution. There just isn't one.
No.
Imagine if the Avatar movie just decided to ditch the 4 nations entirely. Instead, Aang is from Toledo, Ohio. He goes to high school with Katara and Sokka. Nobody knows what bending is. And when people do fight, the fight system's just entirely wrong.
I have the weird suspicion that this entire movie was just there to make a plot about basically someone's fanfic of a white boy getting along with Chi-Chi. And the worst thing is that the writer is a black dude. It doesn't make any sense to me. And by the way, please don't misunderstand my statement here. I don't give a damn of what Goku's being portrayed by, okay? He's an alien, so I don't fucking care. This movie, by the way, in terms of live action adaptation, might have the biggest amount of Asian representation in terms of live action that we've ever had. Let that sink in. I want to argue almost as much as the Avatar Netflix show. Not the movie. Gosh no. I personally couldn't care, but it just sticks out like a sore thumb.
At least The Last Airbender looked like it came out in 2010. This feels like it came out in 2002 on the Disney Channel. After Gohan explodes, Goku meets Bulma, and true to her character, she tries to shoot him in the face immediately. Bulma has blue hair. Singular.
Yeah,
she has a
there's a
singular
strand.
blue hair. Look, I don't mind Bulma not having blue hair. I'm just baffled why she has this hairstyle at all. What were they even going for here?
Some Tomb Raider-esque character, which put in contrast with the literal thing there in the background, like it makes no sense.
Is this meant to be vaguely anime? She looks like she came straight from a trailer park and smokes a pack a day. Movie Bulma is just nothing.
Okay.
She's a girl with a gun. She's constantly serious. She's written like she's a secret agent or post-apocalyptic survivor.
Last night a thief broke into my father's company, the Capsule Corporation.
And that's just so boring. And this Bulma isn't even really that much of a genius. She didn't know there was more than one Dragon Ball, I
Which
guess.
she calls...
Okay, so let's break this down. Bulma thinks Goku stole her Promethean orb and tries to shoot him. She thinks only the 5-star ball exists, but Dadoy idiot, there's more. Well, it turns out she had a Dragon Ball locator the entire time. So how the f*** did she not know there were more Dragon Balls? She then says she plans to use all of the Dragon Balls as an unlimited source of energy, like she didn't just find out there were more of them 5 seconds ago. The vehicles and tech of Dragon Ball are just one of those things that give the series so much character.
Yeah,
so of course,
that's
Bulma whips out a
futuristic.
tripod motorcycle.
Cool.
And so our two heroes
No.
ride off like pensioners cruising down Lakeland, Florida.
Not cool.
Speaking of old people, Master Roshi. He's not old. He's just a middle-aged guy. He's not even that perverted.
Which is strange to say, but don't, like, if you won't commit to the bit of Dragon Ball utilizing him for, like, all the crude, like, anime tropey things of, like, you know, he was supposed to be the antithesis of the pious teacher, right? One that's truly devoted to it, because he was nonchalant in his approach and very perverted. If you want to go that line, then just make him serious. You can't go halfway. Then it satisfies nobody.
The casting here is just baffling, because while Roshi is somehow too young, Yamcha is somehow too old. This supposed young adult is played by an ex-K-pop star that at the time was in his 40s. Who does this man think he's fooling?
Well, everything happens for a reason, bro.
And his voice, by the way, is dubbed over. So it's even more painful to listen to.
Got that one from daytime TV.
They even try this romantic connection between him and Bulma. Genuinely impressive that the soup is cold and the salad is hot. How did you manage that? So all we have is a group of strange, inconsistent weirdos. A goth girl, a middle-aged man, another middle-aged man in a midlife crisis, and a school shooter. Honestly, the most normal person in this entire movie is Chi-Chi. Even then, that's just because she's a generic high school girl that can fight. Why is she fighting herself? What is happening?
Oh no.
So,
My.
King Piccolo and his sidekick Mai want to find the Dragon Balls, and it's up to our gang to stop them, right? Why is Mai working for Piccolo? Why does she have shape-shifting abilities? Who can say? If...
This is Mai. You know, the Mai we know, who works with another tyrant, Emperor Pilaf, as far as I remember, who is not Namekian, and who is definitely not tall. But okay, Mai, the haircut, you remember, the bangs and all, that are supposed to be very long. And of course her uniform, you know, the military uniform like that has a boob window and looks like a freaking assassin. Yeah, that's the Mai we know. Oh god, this is
Mai working for Piccolo. Why does she have shape-shifting abilities? Who can say? If they win, Piccolo will get unlimited power and use the monster Ozaru to destroy the world. I wonder who the monster Ozaru is.
I will defeat Ozaru.
You will become Ozaru.
Anyone that's ever watched Dragon Ball knows that Goku turns into Ozaru, or like he did before he got his tail chopped off. Imagine if you had no idea what Dragon Ball was. From your perspective, the main generic guy just became a monkey for literally no reason at all. There is never an explanation for this. It doesn't even matter anyway because Goku can just will himself out of the monkey form. Even if you didn't know Dragon Ball, you would still know that's just
none
bullshit.
of that. It doesn't
A werewolf
work.
just can't go, oh yeah, I don't want to be a werewolf anymore and go back to normal.
Example they showed. Harry Potter. Even better. 2004. I'ma quiz you right now. 2004, what did we have back then? Van fucking Helsing. At 2004's Van Helsing, the Underworld series, to mirror the same itself into Harry Potter. Those to, even if you don't know about vampire lore, what am I saying, werewolf lore, to know that anything that is like a lunar related, gets literally affected by the moon. And can't just will themselves back into normal. But no, logic doesn't apply here.
There are no rules.
When I first watched this, I was just confused because the movie is edited so badly. I didn't know if I was watching a montage or a flashback, but apparently it was Goku turning back into himself, and they didn't even bother to animate it. They just reversed the footage.
Every move you're on.
Akira!
I actually found another baffling budget-saving thing, by the way. So, in a dream sequence, Goku dreams of the world ending, right? Did you catch it? At first I was like, wait a second, let me play it a little bit slower.
Oh my god, all road leads back to him. It's funny. It's funny because we've had him featured on the channel for quite a bit and through PointlessHub videos. Ah, okay. Rolling.
Right there. Do you know what that's from?
Independence Day.
They straight up reused a clip from another movie. That's a clip from Independence Day.
Yeah.
Just incredible, 20th Century Fox. Rest in peace. So, there's a lot of questions here. The main one being, what the fuck happened? Why does it look like this? Why does Goku do a Kamehameha and move forward while shooting it? Like, that's not how this shit works! A lot of questions need to be answered. Who's responsible? Culprit 1. The budget. $30 million. Making a live-action Dragon Ball movie is already a bad idea. Making one with $30 million is just impossible. Hell, the actor for King Piccolo, James Marsters, only signed on because he thought it was going to be a more expensive project, like $100 million or something. Then he was sent to Durango, Mexico. Yeah, this wasn't filmed in Los Angeles, or Vancouver, or hell, even Georgia. This was filmed in Durango, Mexico, in an abandoned factory. They made him do his own stunts. Alright, so I get $30 million isn't a lot for something like Dragon Ball. If you want to do something accurate, you'd need to whip out that Man of Steel budget. But at the same time, I'm just kind of confused. $30 million is still
a lot of money.
Nothing to sneeze at. So many movies have been made around the same budget.
Warzone. Yeah, if you want to have a massive set and people being explosion and destruction everywhere.
Or even less. And they look 10 times better in every way.
Yes! Dude, District... Yeah, I'm gonna rage here, sorry.
Really aren't that many crazy effects in Dragon Ball Evolution. It's mainly just people talking and going from one cheap set to the other. And green screens. Very poorly done green screens. The budget didn't make the fight choreography suck. Kung Fu Hustle was made with $10 million less, and it looks like this.
It looks more anime than a lot of live-action adaptations have ever looked. Oh my god. Cody, please make a Kung Fu Hustle video, or else I will have to do it myself. Kung Fu Hustle, Shaolin Soccer, bruv.
Movies can have mid-sized budgets and look professional. There is really no excuse for it looking like this. Freddie Wong had better special effects and cinematography too on YouTube in 2011. Hell, this feels like a YouTube video, a fan film that was just not made by fans at all. Which brings me to culprit number 2, James Wong. I don't really know what went wrong with James Wong here. He directed Final Destination 1 and 3 just fine, but my god did he misfire. He was just not suited to this task at all.
Nope.
It was his decision to incorporate hip-hop and dance moves into the fight choreography. He wasn't even a fan of Dragon Ball before getting brought on. But why did they bring in a director who barely knew the material? One who thought this was cool and acceptable? Well, the director they originally had in mind, Stephen Chow, dropped out. And his name...
I did not know this. I did not know that it has Stephen Chow on. It would have been so much better. Oh my god. That would have actually looked like a Dragon Ball movie because he's the guy who made Kung Fu Hustle and the other ones. He knows the comedic timing, how to take things seriously. There are even dark moments in Dragon Ball, the likes that you also can find in Kung Fu Hustle, for example.
Name even being associated with the project held a lot of weight. Like, it's one of the main reasons King Piccolo even signed on. But that was a rug pull. Chow dropped out of having any real creative control because the script was just that garbage. Which brings us to culprit number 3, the script. The writer of this movie apologized to the fans for its existence. Wow. And you know what? I get it. This was a movie that was so bad, it encouraged Toriyama to return to Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Mixed results. Hey, I still like the Tournament of Power, alright?
Yeah, we do.
With a script like this, there was just no salvaging the movie. The writer, Ben Ramsey, never wrote another major project ever again. But here's the thing. This wasn't the script he wrote. I mean, he did write it, his name is in the credits, but this wasn't his original vision. You see, while Ben Ramsey did technically write the story, he wasn't the one that had the final say. The one that had the final say was 20th Century Fox.
Of course.
Culprit number 4, 20th Century Fox. Rest in peace. What a shock, the biggest culprit was the studio the entire time. And it's not just because they basically tricked the cast into signing up for a movie they thought was going to be actually well-funded and then sent them off to an empty factory in Mexico. It's not even just because they hired a director who didn't know the material at all. It's because they utterly destroyed the story with rewrites and meddling.
First rule is, there are no rules.
Originally, the movie was going to have the Dragon Ball world, or something close to it, with all the land being one single continent. Dragon Balls and Piccolo were just kind of thought of as a myth. Goku actually tells his grandpa he wants to go to a party for his birthday instead of just ghosting him. There's more actual Dragon Ball characters too. Mai works for Pilaf in this version. The script has Puar. The earlier drafts of the script were actually faithful. Or well, more faithful than the thing we got. Somehow each rewrite stripped away something interesting about the story. So what happened? I'm just a silly internet man, I don't have all the answers. But I have a feeling the answer is just the executives. Some faceless executives whittled this thing down with stupid notes, draft after draft, until we ended up with something that was passable for some boomer that never saw an anime before in their life. Then, because they didn't even have faith that the boomers would see this in theaters, they gave it the smallest budget possible. It's often said that the writer of Dragon Ball Evolution apologized for the script that he wrote. And he did, for a time. Until 2 years ago, when he rescinded that apology. And I don't blame him. Whether for budgetary reasons or they just didn't care, they took this pretty alright script, I mean it's not perfect, and stripped everything away until we had a confusing mess. So
I apologize. Oh my god. Like I stated before, one of the things that I thought was weird is who the guy was, okay? Because if you grow up black, you will have the implementation of Dragon Ball characters in the lyrics of rap songs, in everything, and that is way before the 2009s, okay? There's a reason why we say that Piccolo is black. So this shit just didn't make sense to me. But okay, I stand corrected, and I apologize.
Why did he ever apologize in the first place? Why didn't he just blame the executives? It's the movie industry. He wanted to keep his job.
Yeah.
What do you think would have happened if he blamed the studio for destroying the script? He would have been blacklisted. This movie killed careers. Goku and Bulma at least landed on their feet for a little while, ending up on Shameless. It's really funny. You can just pretend this whole series is just an extension of Dragon Ball Evolution. James Wong never worked on another major film ever again. He was an up-and-coming director with the Final Destination movies, and after this, he was banished to TV. His most recent work is on the hit show 911.
No, I saw. I know that 911 has been ridiculous over the years, but I saw this trailer. This summer. I was like, ain't no shot that they're doing this.
I feel sorry for Ben Ramsey most of all, though. Okay, maybe not most of all. King Piccolo got literally injured in Durango, Mexico. But for years, this shit show was placed squarely on him.
Oh my god.
He apologized to take the brunt of the hatred, and it still didn't even save his career. The movie was so bad, he was effectively blacklisted anyway. Because who wants to hire the guy who wrote Dragon Ball Evolution?
Make me pay Giko.
You know, I don't blame him for taking back that apology. It's really inspiring. Makes me want to take back an apology of my own. Hey IRS.
Yeah?
Remember that time I apologized for not filing my taxes?
I lied.
Yeah, I remember.
Well, I take it back. Fuck you.
Oh! How did I not recognize him? Fuck, okay, this is why I watch PointlessHub videos. Ernie! This is not how I imagined this video to go. I just got my word turned upside down. I am so sorry. Oh, my... Anyways, folks, thank you so much for checking out this video. As always, please do make sure to go, of course, and subscribe to Cody. And if you want to, leave me an interaction, like, and also subscribe. And wish you all to have a wonderful day. See you guys in the next one. Bye.